He heard the crazed shriek of a siren in the distance and wondered what was going on. The commotion came from Acker's Gap, whose slowly rotting rooftops he couldn't quite make out through the solid weave of trees surrounding the small cabin, trees that sealed off this section of the woods like a lid screwed down tight on a canning jar. Even though the town was out of sight, he knew precisely where it was and could imagine just what it looked like, down to the last broken-off curb and row of closed-down businesses, their empty windows so covered with grime that you couldn't even see your reflection in them anymore. It was the kind of place you never forgot, that clung to you, in fact, like kudzu, even if you'd been away from it for more than 15 years, which he had. Hate small towns, he told somebody once, but it wasn't true. He didn't hate all small towns, just this one, just Acker's Gap. The siren's roller coaster moan, up and down and up again, in undulating waves, moved out from the Raythune County seat, riding the air in wobbly concentric rings. He lifted his head, wondering if he'd be able to pick up anything through the trees, a flash of color or shudder of motion. But he didn't rise. He remained sitting on the torn-up steps of the ramshackle cabin, arms extended across his knees, hands dangling languidly from his wrists. He had been here for at least an hour now. Waiting. He turned his head, scratching the bottom of his chin against his right shoulder. Behind him, the battered front door hung open. The door had rotted off its hinges a long time ago and been quickly and indifferently fixed. Didn't close right. Never would again, without an intervention by somebody with tools and know-how. Somebody who gave a damn. He was grateful that spring was almost here. Had this still been the middle of winter, a broken door would have been a bitch and a half. He wondered when the siren would die down. Car accident? Maybe. No telling. Nick Fogelsong, he thought, would probably be overseeing the response, whatever the emergency might be. He could see Fogelsong in his mind's eye, setting flares, waving his big fat hands over his head, directing cars to avoid the jackknifed semi, marching back and forth in his big boots and big hat, ordering folks around, trying to show how goddamned important he was. Then again, he reminded himself, Fogelsong might look different now after all these years. Last time he'd seen Nick Fogelsong was, what, 1983, 84? He'd been surprised, frankly, when Mattie told him that Fogelsong was still sheriff. Hell, how long could you work at the same damn job without going crazy? Doing the same thing over and over again, that was his idea of hell on earth. And Fogelsong had always struck him as more ambitious than that. He didn't like the man. His history with Mattie was enough to guarantee that. Yet, still in all, Fogelsong seemed plenty bright enough to have gotten the hell out of Acker's Gap. But here he was, according to Mattie. He shook his head. People. He never really knew a damn thing about them, about what was going on in their heads, or what they were capable of, if you pushed them hard enough. The siren still hadn't quit. That surprised him. Continuing that way, it sounded now like some kind of air raid, like an emergency drill. Had somebody spotted a tornado, maybe? Or was there a jailbreak? He wished he had a phone or a computer, or even a goddamn portable radio, some way to get the news. But he was broke. Dependent on her for everything. Food, coffee, camels, this crummy cabin with a door that wouldn't close right, with its piece of shit porch steps. And so what could he say? Buy me a damned radio, lady, or handle things by yourself. He heard another sound, not nearly so loud as the siren, but growing closer. A muted snarl, like something clearing its throat to signal bad intentions. He didn't move, didn't shift his position, but he was alert. The car seemed to squeeze through the wall of the woods, rocking and bouncing across the dirt road that wasn't really a road at all, just a couple of parallel gouges in the ground in which the tires could slot themselves as the vehicle made its way toward the cabin. He stood up, squinted to make sure of the visitor's identity. Squinting like that made his face hurt. He was still feeling the effects of that bar fight last month over in Covington, Kentucky.